Hi, Arle. I just saw your post earlier today about the video of the review of the Yamaha recorder by a saxophone player, and your comment about the time that it takes to invested time it takes to actually learn an instrument, even the instruments that seems simple or that were shown early in school, they actually take a long time to master really well. And your statement that you wonder how many times that you've dismissed things just because you didn't bother to make the necessary effort, and assuming that the lack of instant mastery uh, could be that the way it was done was defective rather than you're just lazy. And it makes me think I've been playing guitar for about 40 years, 40 plus years. Piano, I taught myself piano from the guitar about 40 years ago, and I pretty much play piano by ear. I learned music theory singing in high school, um, the notes just singing, but I never really focused on playing the partitions and the scores. I did for a quarter. I took a couple of classical guitar classes and a beginning piano class just to learn to read, but I never used it because I've got a good ear, right? and can play, improvise a lot. But I know enough theory to be able to talk about it. But just 2 years ago, in 2022, I decided to in the summer to fall. I decided to learn two other instruments that I had never played before, in any serious way at all: the drums and the bass. And the drum class, I picked up really fast. The basic stuff, right? I took 5 lessons in the second class. The drum teachers, boy, you put me out of a job. But I was doing the bass and the bass and the guitar, the bass and the drums at the same time, and it was really violent in my hands. So I had to stop doing the drums, taking classes. Though I bought the stuff and I've got little finger pads and stuff, and I do it right. But I've stopped playing because I had to have the brace on my hand for a little bit. I was getting tendonitis really quickly. But I kept with the bass guitar. And the easy thing with the bass guitar is that I simplified it by I bought a short scale bass, and then I bought a ukulele size bass. And I always played it really up high, because if you're not playing it long, right? But the shorter it is, it's easier to play because the fret distances they're really shorter. And then if you close it up here, they're shorter. So it's actually, you can keep, it's less stress on the hand, right? And so that's what helped. But the thing with the bass class is that went really fast. Um, but and the method was great, and the teacher is really pushing me to. I've been doing it, every single week for 2 years. I think the first year I missed one or two classes during the year, and this year I've only missed the weeks I've been on vacation in the U.S. and Canada for five weeks, right, for the entire year. But and sometimes I do 2 times a week if I can catch up. And he said, I think the first 6 months, he says that I have done, in the first like year and a half, he says, you're way ahead of what most students are. They're still way, way back, because I was spending the time every single week doing it. I took it really seriously. I bought the instruments. I bought the shorter instruments. I bought the portable, the small ukulele sized one, the bass, and took it on the train every single day. I carry it with me all the time. It's a little ukulele size. It's an acoustical you can plug it into, and you got a tuner in it and everything. But it's really small. It's got rubber strings on it. And I seriously learned all the movements, right? And I applied them. And every time I have 5 minutes here, stop here, do this, I have with me, I'll just take 5 minutes and do it, work on my exercise, right? And so I've been doing this for 2 years. And we're working on applying that to all the songs I do. But it's taken a serious investment. I've told him every time I ask him, how long is it going to take me to get to be able to do what I want to do with songs, right? And he's at the beginning, he was giving me 5 lessons a week, right? And then I got to a point where I couldn't do all the homework, the exercises of all the 5 lessons every time, right? But it's getting to the point where now the theory is really, we are talking about playing seventh minors, majors, and seventh chords and stuff, and really cool stuff. And I'm beginning to see the interesting stuff of it. But the mastery time is significant. I think I've calculated this, that I've done this 2 hours a week for 50 weeks, okay? The few weeks I missed, we're not going to count that. So 2 hours a week times 50 weeks means I have 100 hours of class time per year. That's been 2 years. So that's 200 hours of class time. Plus add to it that I'm going to say 30 minutes a day, okay? So we're going to say 30 times 6 and 7, I mean, just to kind of round it off, right? Because don't always do 30 full minutes a day. So 30 times 6. So that means that I'm putting 3 hours a week, about average 3 hours a week into the bass. Multiply that 50-ish, that's 150. 2 years, that's 300. So if you take the 203, I put 500 hours into this playing the bass, right? And I still feel like I've got a long ways to go to apply it to songs. But he says, it's true, I've gone to play with some bands. And if I just want to play the bass note, just a simple bass note, the fundamental, tonic, the basic note of the chord, I can do fine, right? That's no problem. But I want to go farther and do it, make it sound a little bit cooler, right? And so and I'm getting to the point where I can do triads. Triads even in tetrachords, four note chords, and doing that in all the modes, in all the keys, right? Every single key, doesn't matter what key. There are 12 keys, right? And there are 7 different modes. And now he says, go talk to he says you'll talk to musicians. He says, way more about
separately, because this is from the RDP course. We pulled it out. So I will also.
So a little thing kicking in. And so it's true, I've talked to a few musician friends, and I said, I'm playing all these notes. I'm playing Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, and they said, we've heard of those. We know what they are, right? And he says, you see, you know a lot more. And it's really cool because now it's possible to change, just based on those 7 modes, to be able to change the way of playing it to sound a little bit different, but play the same thing, right? And different flavors, different angles, based on the couple of different differences of the flat or sharped notes in each of those modes. And it's like super cool, right? But the time to do this, and I've had another friend who's doing it at the same time. And he says it takes a lot of time. He's a music shop owner, right? He's doing the same thing with the same classes with the teacher, and it's taken a lot of time. In fact, I know 2 other people that are musicians, and they said it just takes a lot of time. So I totally get what you're saying about the investment, and the interesting thing of all this has been, as we go through this, he said that the advantage that I will do it, even if I'm thinking of a different way to apply it or a different way to do it in my mind, right? He says, just do it this way, learn the stuff, practice. And it's true, it takes during the class, it takes, it's a new thing we to work on, and it's like, but I'll practice it in a week and then begin to master it and get down to where it makes sense and I can do it. It sometimes takes 2 weeks to work on some things to get it so that they flow a little bit better. They're hard to do. It's just a lot of time to make it the fully mechanical and totally automatic, reactions of doing this. Just tons of touch and play. But when I think about how much I've been playing, 500 hours over the past 2 years on the bass, that is a drop in the bucket of what I played guitar and piano for the past 40 years. I played 7,000. Between 7,000 and 10,000 hours of guitar, easily 10,000. I would say probably 5,000 hours of piano. And I play the piano. I think I play the piano more. I'm a little more fluid on the guitar. Kind of depends. The guitar still is my first instrument, or my voice is, but I've gotten to a point where I can hear on the piano. I'm just playing a lot more. There's a lot more natural playing than, because it's a linear instrument, right? But applying the bass is like really cool. So I totally agree with you, and and I think that investment, there's statements that say that you don't master a topic unless you put 10,000 hours into it, and Now, I don't want to spend 10,000 hours in the bass to be able to get to play in a band, but I'm speeding up with the bass on these other instruments. If you've got several instruments you can play, right, but these are note-based instruments rather than rhythm-based instruments too. So there's a little bit different of that. So yeah, it's I totally get what you're saying about this, the medium of doing it, and if you got a good method, right? If there's a really good method that's solid and you can do it and it's easy to understand, that helps a lot. It just takes tons of practice, right? Practice, 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 practice. But it's paying off, but 500 hours, right? 2 years, that's a lot. So thanks for that. And yeah, I would never do a review of an instrument. I've done a lot of instrument reviews on my YouTube channel. They get about 200 videos up there of instrument reviews of pianos and guitars and stuff and the accessories. And I would never do a review of anything I've never played before, right? Just, I would try it. So maybe I'll do some on the bass coming up, right? So thanks so much.